Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. Ben Shalom. Right, I don't know if you've seen the footage. I'll explain what's happened. There's basically been leaked footage of Ben Shalom doing an interview with a media outlet, and before the interview was taking place, he's gone up to the outlet and he said, "No questions on AJ, DAZN, Hearn or Probellum." And that's it. I don't know if he actually did the interview, but that's the footage I've seen. Now, this media outlet, I don't know who it is. It's very poor form to leak that footage because it goes on with every high-profile promoter, fighter, broadcaster. Those things go on in boxing, right? I know some people say they'll talk about everything and you can ask me anything, but it's not the case, right? Especially if there's legal things going on behind the scenes. So I think it's been done over. I think it's very poor form from that media outlet. And it's bad taste for me. But regarding what Ben Shalom did, it's the norm. It's industry practice. It goes on, you know. It happens every day, right? This kind of things happen, right? Sometimes there's things that can't get asked, right? You've got to understand the position that Ben Shalom's in. However, did he deal with it wrong? Probably did, right? But you've got to understand his age and his experience in boxing, right? It's all good and well people who've been in the game 10, 12 years longer giving their opinion and saying, this is what I would do, this is what I would do. But as I always say, you have to put things into context. And the bloke is 28 years of age. He's been thrown into the shark's tank of professional boxing, right? We all know being a boxing promoter, it ain't easy, right? And it's just not an easy job, right? You're surrounded by fucking lions, tigers, sharks, gorillas. It's a fucking jungle, right? And you have to be able to survive. But you have to look at his age and his experience. He's 28. There's not many promoters, believe you me, look at all the great ones, right? At 28 years of age, who has a broadcasting deal with one of the biggest platforms in the world, right? And that's what Ben Shalom has. So he's not that guy who's going to tell you what he thinks, right? We know that. He's not that guy. He's a company man. He's fit for purpose. He looks a certain way. He talks a certain way. He fits a certain agenda and profile, and fair enough. That's the way he goes about his business. Not every boxing promoter has to make it about themselves, right? And make it me. As long as he puts the fights on, that's what he'll be judged on. I think he's okay. I like him. I think it's good to have a contrast, right? We've got Eddie Hearn for what he does, right? Eddie does a great job. We've got Frank Warren, what he does. We've got Bob Arum. They're a bit more outspoken, right? But just because you're not outspoken doesn't mean you're not a good boxing promoter. I think it actually helps because it enables him to build relationships and cross-promote, which he's doing with the likes of Top Rank. And and in the future, he'll be able to put the big fights on because he's not ruining relationships. He's trying to build relationships. But it's not really great from Ben Shalom. Now, I understand Probellum, right? That's a legal matter. You can't just rock up to him and say, what's going on with Probellum? You've sent them a letter stating fighters can't appear on Sky Sports if they're linked with Probellum. Now, that's legal. That's a legal matter. Of course, he's not going to talk about it to a fucking reporter, right? But in regards to AJ, DAZN, and even Eddie Hearn, I think he should have dealt with that better. And I think experience will help him. At a later stage. I think he'll probably in 5 years' time he'll just dismiss that and go, I don't want to talk about it, carry on. But going up to someone and really saying, don't ask me about Hearn and AJ DAZN, I don't think you need to do that. I think you need to face up to it, right? And just be honest to say, I'm not going to answer it or talk about it, you know? I don't think you really should be telling reporters what to ask me. Legal things I understand. With Probellum, I get that, I understand it. But other subjects, I don't really think you're in a position to start demanding what can be asked of you. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, you are coming across as someone who wants to give their honest opinion and this and, you know, so you not the best way to have dealt with it from Ben Shalom. And I'm a big advocate of his, right? And I think we'll learn from it. But it's not the end of the fucking world, is it? I think people are making a big thing out of this, right? It goes on with fighters, goes on with managers, goes on with promoters all the time, right? Reporters are asked not to ask certain questions. It goes on. Now, I know Eddie Hearn says, I'll answer anything and this and that. And to be fair to Eddie, he's very good with the media. He does like the sound of his own voice, but he is good with the media. He gives everyone their time, right? Fair fucking play. right? But there are things that he won't answer. Believe you me, because I've not heard him talk about Kinahan and Probellum. I've not. You show me. I've not heard much of it. Believe you me, right? So you can't really judge Ben Shalom from not talking about it. But in regards to DAZN and AJ, you can talk about that, can't you? You can just say, look, we see what's going to happen. I don't promote them. It's a Sky thing. You've got to face up to things like that. If you're going to be a boxing promoter, you have to fucking get thick skin. Right? It's all good being a company man and looking a certain way, but at the end of the day, you're in the fucking jungle, whether you're part of Sky Sports or not. Being a boxing promoter, right, you're in a fucking jungle, right? So you got to get thick skin and you got to be able to deal with reporters and deal with tough questions, right? As I say, things with Probellum and things like that, I get that, I understand that it's a legal matter. You could have said that. You could have just said it's a legal thing. I'm not prepared to talk about it, but I think he'll learn from that. I don't think he'll go up to a reporter again and say, look, don't ask these questions. I think he'll deal with it in a different way and he'll learn from it. Look, these are the things you learn from. I think it's been blown out of proportion, right? I do. But I don't mind Ben Shalom. I don't. It doesn't look great, the footage. I'm not saying it does. It doesn't look great, does it? Because it's coming across as just ask me certain things, right? And it's like, come on, mate. You've only been in the game a short amount of time. You shouldn't really be asking people what to ask you and what to not. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not great from Ben Shalom. But as I say, it's been blown out of proportion. It goes on all the time, right? All the time it goes on. But as I say, I like Ben Shalom. I think he's doing good things. I do think he's got to get cracking on with putting big events on because you create your own look in this game, but he did fall into that sequence of having those 3 big fights back-to-back where it was Eubank Williams, Khan Brook and Taylor Catterall. 2 of those events he didn't promote. He cross-promoted them with Top Rank. Right? If he wasn't on Sky Sports, that wouldn't have happened. Right? So he's been smart with that. Khan Brook, he has walked into that right place, right time. Do you know what I mean? Would you put that fight on 5 years ago? But you make your own look. So sort of the stars aligned for him because you had those 3 back-to-back fights. All had drama. Catterall, Taylor, we all had drama with that. Khan Brook was drama, fascinating. Eubank Williams had the build-up. So he fell into that. But since then, it's not really been anything, has there? And that's to be expected. You have to understand where he's come from. As I say, context. He rocked up at Sky Sports with no fighters. No fucking fighters. Right? What he was doing was like Boxer Series events, like prize fighter. We didn't actually have fighters signed to him properly. Do you know what I mean? He went to Sky Sports. It's really unheard of where someone has a big someone has a big broadcasting deal and they literally don't have a fighter and they had to sign fighters. Savannah, Huey Fury, Brad Ray were the first fighters signed to them, Adam Azim. So, and now obviously the Olympians are complimenting them. So we can see where he's going, right? You can't judge him by Eddie Hearn's standards. Eddie Hearn's been in the game 10 years longer, right? It's unfair to do that, right? Judge him in 10 years time. Eddie Hearn didn't have a Sky contract at fucking 28, did he? Do you know what I mean? And with all due respect to Eddie, his dad was in the game for years. Ben Shalom, he's coming with absolutely no fucking experience. He's got no one to help him, no family members, no one, right? This is all him. He's got that Sky contract off his own accord. Yes, it was right place, right time, but you make your own fucking luck, right? So as I say, you've got to put into context. He had those 3 good months. We've got React tomorrow. We've had the Boxer Series. I do like, right? So I do like what he's doing, but he's going to have to put on big fights, right? He needs to nail that Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields fight. He desperately needs that because you can only live off the Khan Brook and Taylor Catterall and those fights for so long. Do you know what I mean? That was in February. We're in June now. He's got to nail on a big pay-per-view fight. He has to. But he's doing good things, right? I think people should cut him a bit of slack, right? He is a man who's going to go off script. He's never going to be outspoken, and that's fine, right? As long as he puts the fucking fights on. I don't need him to tell me his life story every 2 seconds and all the fights he's going to put on and they never happen, right? I don't need to hear that. Just put the fucking fights on. That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to see. So cutting some slack, right? It wasn't great, the footage, but it goes on all the time. As I say, it happens all the time. Let me know what you think. Do you think he shouldn't be telling reporters not to ask him certain questions? Do you think he should face up to it? Or do you think it's just a storm in a teacup? Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.